Hello everybody and welcome back to Taste of Reality. My name is Queenie, for those who don't know me, reviewing Married at First Sight Australia Season 9, Episode 13. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and like clockwork, she's going to make this hard for me, but it's okay. We're gonna push through. So a couple people are in choppy waters after the dinner party. We have Sam and Al who got in an argument, Tamara and Brent who were staying in different apartments. But for Selena and Cody, things are going very, very well.
Did you guys have sex?
We had sex.
Was it good?
Yes.
After consummating marriage, it feels like we're on track now.
They are clearly the most improved couple, and I love to see it. I love to see it so much. Samantha and Al, I thought they were improving, but it seems like the more I watch Samantha, the more she's just somebody who looks for issues. So they had an argument because she listened to the other women talk about intimacy week and how they refused the making out thing, or how they refused other activities. And she's like, well, now I feel like you forced me to do it.
I feel shocked. I was like, it doesn't make sense because I asked you after the kiss, were you okay with that? Were you comfortable? And she said I was fine. But now she's, backflipped on that.
I thought the kiss was authentic. I thought Sam actually liked me.
Samantha's a complainer, because how could he pressure you to do something that you were asking him to do? You were asking for kisses, you were asking for affection, and now here's an activity where you can do just that and you have a problem with it. And then you're saying like, oh, don't kiss me. Oh, I don't get why he doesn't kiss me. Now he's given a reason to kiss you. Oh, he forced me into kissing him. Samantha, get it together. You're sounding childish. You're sounding like a gaslighter, and it's not a cute look. So since Andrew left the experiment, Holly is the first to go at the recommitment ceremony, and she's given the couch to air out her thoughts. She had nothing else to say about the Andrew situation, but she had many words to give to her other castmates on how they treated her the night before.
But you all very quickly forgot what it was like walking in alone and single into a room full of couples, not feeling like enough. I had been alone this entire journey. And I came into the room hoping for support I felt I earned, and I walked in the villain.
After her speech, Jackson is quick to stop her in her tracks and is like, but you were being immature and you were being blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, Jackson and Olivia are definitely looking kind of sketchy.
Well, the only thing that we saw was Holly come in and didn't speak to Andrew.
Did you not ask yourself why?
Well, that's why we came up and I spoke to you, Holly. I want to hear both sides of the story. That's who I am and that's who I've always been. Because it sounds like you're saying completely something different to what you were saying to me last night as well.
This is exactly what she was referring to in the letter. How are you going to take the side of one person completely and not hear the other person's side? Or now when they're giving a chance, you're like, oh, she's manipulating the story. I'm not a Holly fan either, but there are three sides to every story. His side, her side, and the truth. And they only listened to his side, didn't really listen to her side. And they're obviously not going to get the truth until they watch it back. But yeah, I was like, okay, you guys didn't have to come for her like that. They both did. Olivia and Jackson did. And I know some of you guys in the comments were also saying that Olivia is looking like she is a liar. Not a liar. I can't even focus with this little human. Olivia is looking like the villain, and she's definitely taking on that role in stride. I guess she's getting really comfortable with the fact that her connection has no issues, and so she feels like she has the authority to talk on other people's problems. But girl, if you can dish it, you better be able to take it. If she's able to listen to everybody's problems and be the relationship guru when people want to therapize you or point out your problems in your relationship, you better be a listening ear, because everybody else let you say what you had to say about them. So Olivia and Jackson are next, and Alessandra calls out Olivia on being the antagonist at dinner.
I feel awful, and I could have definitely done a much better job than what I did. So I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess, I don't know, I've got to be in my bonnet worked myself up, and I do that. And I know that's an issue that I do have, but it doesn't happen often to me.
I feel like it's going to come back up. I really do. They also talk about how things are going very well. They're on cloud nine, and she gets really emotional because she's saddened by the idea that her father would never get to see her in such a fruitful relationship when that's all he wanted for her.
I think my dad would be so excited, like, to have like a new buddy. They just would have got along so well. He'd be really happy with this.
I completely get that emotion. Child, I'm feeling it too right now. The thing with me though is like my mom is looking at her peers and they're all grandparents, and my mom only just became a grandparent in September. And I'm like, dang, that's so true. Like my parents are at that age, you know, you kind of want your parents to see you achieve these things, to witness your accolades. So I definitely hear where Olivia is coming from. I'm feeling it too. Just be a better person to the other couples, Olivia. That's all I require from you. But obviously, they both decided to stay, which is a surprise to no one. Sam and Al are next, and the experts immediately point out that Al's demeanor is very down. It's very low, which is out of character for him. And he explains how Intimacy Week has been challenging for him.
At first, I was like, let's do it 5 minutes. And then she wasn't keen on it at all. I can't read her. I have trouble reading her in signals.
We get a kissing challenge, and it's like, yeah, let's do it. 5 minutes. Cool. Like, it's a big show. Like, when we're, like, alone, I get nothing.
At the end of the day, for me, it seems like, well, obviously he didn't force her, because you cannot force a person to do something, especially when there's cameras involved. It's highly unlikely that the person is really going to force you. She could have said no. And she even modified from a 5-minute makeout to 30 seconds. I feel like that was very accommodating, but whatever. I think Samantha is still stuck on the immaturity and can't get past it. So she's looking for other reasons that don't come for him in a way that can't be changed, you know? Because if she's constantly saying, oh, but he's young, he's not going to get older, you know? But if she can pinpoint like other things that are issues, but not the bigger issue that she has, maybe it seems like, you know, she's trying, she's whatever. But if she was to point out the age thing, then I feel like it would kind of be her not trying, because that's something that he absolutely cannot change. I don't know if what I just said made sense, but those who will get it will probably explain it better in the comments. But I feel like she's picking out things that can be reasonable, because the unreasonable issue she has, she knows can't be changed, and she knows she's going to come off as difficult if she pinpoints that. Maybe that was a little bit clearer. But yeah, Al says he doesn't even know if she likes him sometimes. And I could understand that. Her mixed signals are mixed, okay? We are watching it and we are still confused. Like, girl, where do you stand? Where do you want to be with him? We don't really know. She says time and time again that she likes him. She reassures him in front of everybody that she likes him. So I guess it's just going to take time. If she can't be compromising, if she can't open up, she's actually going to be the reason for the end of the relationship. But they both decided to stay. Celine and Anthony's segment was very short, but they're saying that the moving in went well and them staying together is going well. So they obviously both decided to stay. Dominica and Jax was short as well. But the main issue is that Dominica wants Jack to initiate intimacy more often. And Jack's like, I'm working on it.
Like, I'm definitely not giving everything that she needs yet. I'm still trying to get there, but I'm sure she's learning exactly what I want. At times, I'm just happy to be involved, but...
Dominica's another one who I feel like is fishing for problems. She's just looking and looking and looking. Keep in mind, it has only been just shy of a month. How is somebody in a month going to truly know your automatic ons and offs? I hear a lot of married couples talk about, so I know a couple, I think they've been married about 8 years. And she's like, girl, only last year are we now on the same page completely about like the unspoken stuff in our relationship, you know? So the go-tos where this is what makes her happy, this is what makes her sad, these are the pressure points, don't do that, yes, do this. She's like, it took 7 years to work that out. It's been less than a month. Give it some time. But they both decided to stay. Mitch and Ella. I felt like this segment could have had a little bit more vim from the experts, but it's okay. They called Mitch out on how he spoke to Ella, and they were saying that is absolutely unacceptable.
She was saying, these are my needs, these are my insecurities, and you completely dismissed them.
Yeah, I can be blunt sometimes.
No, that's not blunt. That
It's
is
demeaning.
condescending.
Right.
Essentially, they were saying that they both need to speak nicer to each other, but I really wish they called out what Mitch said at the table. So when Ella was having some uncertainty about the future, he was like, why do you worry about that? That's your insecurity, blah, blah, blah. And I'm here like, this man truly sees this experiment as just that, an experiment. And that's a problem with people who join Married at First Sight in general. I think they think that since it's a social experiment, you're just trying to see the experiment through. But in reality, especially with the US, since they are legally binding marriages, you have to build the foundations of a marriage, not how can we get along through these next 8 weeks. No. The whole point is for you to find your forever person. I can show face, save face. I can save face with somebody for 8 weeks because I know that it's going to end, but it's going to be a lot more challenging and a lot more confronting, and it requires a lot more introspection when the relationship is supposed to be lifelong. The hope is that marriage is lifelong, but child, at this point, a lot of people breaking up left, right, and center. But yeah, that's really the thing about Mitch that pisses me off. I get being a pessimist, but work towards seeing this as a lifelong commitment. And he doesn't see it that way. He doesn't. Either way, they decide to both stay. I think that's all I had for them. Last but not least is Tamara and Brent. These two are so stubborn. That's what I'm going to say. They are both stubborn. They both want to be right. They both don't like being poked, but also poke. So the Brent shares that the argument did start small. It obviously was about the volume, which was a minuscule thing. But the reason why it blew up was because of a culmination of other events.
I swore in context. I didn't call you a.
Now you're lying.
So you're honestly not going to admit that you do have like some kind of mood and aggression issues?
Sure I do. Moods, yes. Okay, you know how to push buttons. You are a very difficult person.
He admits that his verbiage has been aggressive, like when they're having these arguments, but he's saying, I'm not the only one. It seems like she called him a see you next Tuesday. But she's like, I didn't call you that. I swore in context. How does one call you a see you next Tuesday in context? This is something that I feel like a lot of couples can learn. The way that you speak to your partner, you can get your point across without calling them out of their name. And I feel like name calling and swearing often escalates an argument that didn't have to be that. Even if the problem was a culmination of things, you can see that he swears when he argues sometimes, and even she swears back at him. And swears are vulgar, they're rude, and they make people feel agitated. They make people feel attacked, even when you guys are just really having a heated conversation that could just stay at a conversation. Not every disagreement has to turn into a fight. So it's unfortunate that these two have resorted to swearing at each other. It's unnecessary, and especially in this new of a relationship, it's completely uncalled for. Brent says that she has a lot of regulations that he does not like, and they make him frustrated.
Wants to go to bed at a certain time. Tells me when I should nap and how long I should nap for. It's like picking at me. Bad mood. It's hard for me to pretend I can be in a good mood when things like that come up.
The argument about Tamara's perception on TV comes up again, and she's like, you keep saying that, but that's not my issue. My issue is not how I'm portrayed on television. My issue is that I don't want to be misunderstood. And I can understand that. There is a difference. There's one thing about presenting a certain way, which I feel like is Holly, and that's why I think she's an actor. And there's another of just trying to not be seen as difficult or pretentious, like he likes to use when referring to Tamara, but just like understand me, like try to get where I'm coming from, or it's gonna look bad. I feel like her wording is not quite there. Neither is mine, but I understand where she's coming from when she says that. Ultimately, they both decided to stay. The experts ask them to share what they need from each other. And Brent says he wants space to be himself, while Tamara says when things happen, bring them up. Do not fester on problems. Do not stew in anger, because this happens. The next episode is 2 more weddings. I don't know if they're going to air in the same episode, but the other couples who are already in the experiment actually get to attend. So I thought that was interesting. And we see a little bit of Tiff from Dominica, but child, what's new? She's always looking for something. So as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm loving the discussion in the comments. I'm so sorry if I can't respond to everybody. There's just a lot going on this channel right now. But yeah, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.